We're gonna watch the videos together today. These are students' first attempts at launch, first attempts at landing, and some of their second, third, fourth, fifth, things like that. I see a lot of bobbles. You guys all know what I'm talking about that have been there. You know, you're feeling it out. You're learning. This isn't about judging these pilots or saying what they could or could have done better. They practice for it. It's go time. They've proven that they have the skills to do it. But sometimes when you put it together, it doesn't always work the way you think it should, the way you've envisioned it. You get a little antsy, that motor gets a little loud, it starts pushing a little hard, and then maybe conditions aren't the best sometimes. You take what you can get. As long as they're safe and we're learning and we're progressing, then that's the game we play. We bust a prop tip here and there, we get some mud on our pants, we scrape a knee, but if we learn something and get away from it with just that, then that's kind of what you're going to see on your first handful of flights a lot of times. So let's watch these pilots take a stab at it and join the ranks of the paramotor community with their gigantic balls and bravery, as I hear it must take to do this. But really it don't. It just takes like some power, some pressure, a bit of posture, and you launch a paramotor, landing, you land it however you want. We're fitting to see everything. I hope y'all enjoy this video. In this example, we've got the most classic new student mistake. I believe this may be his third flight, maybe first flight attempt. He come off the power. All right, he hit the brakes a little early, hit the power a little late, then he came off of it, and this is what that looks like. A little bit for a slow motion breakdown. Let's look at went right. The wing's going right. There's his left brake input and he's stepping right. Excellent move. He's under the wing. He's in the power now. It's starting to wind up. And now he comes off the power. Slows down. Wings goes over him. Luckily, he's fast enough to catch it. And if you look closely, you'll see he also kicks his shoe right off of his foot. So he said his foot got cold before his hands did. It's so close. Then he's back in it, and ultimately it worked because he kept the wing behind him. If it ever goes over you, probably faceplant situation. We just caught his butt landing. He had a kill switch failure, and that's what we're fixing to see in this one. Power.
It ain't killing.
Uh-oh. Kill switch failure. That's okay. And just to translate, he says, it ain't killing. And I said, oh, a kill switch failure. That's no big deal. I'll come over there and kill it for you. Something that we had talked about and that he actually did was when he realized that it didn't kill, he tucked his fingers back behind the throttle trigger so that if he fell down, he wouldn't squeeze the throttle. Important to think about that. If you're going to do a landing with a failed kill switch, you got to put your hand in there so that accidentally squeeze it in a fall over situation. He did good on that, and we went over there and killed it for him. And here's one of yours truly doing a launch on a free ride Adam 80 combo. Notice on the experience technique, into the power early. I'm not pulling brakes because the glider's not over me good yet. And then as I gain speed, slowly into the brakes until it lifts me off. Now here's a student's first flight attempt. And this is what the mistake was here was he failed to get into the power, trying to use his legs instead of the motor. It's your classic, it's your throttle commitment. He got into it a little bit, but he didn't squeeze that thing, and that's an 80. He's a smaller guy, 165, I think his weight was, Adam 80. He gets into it a little bit, but he's hesitant on it, and the whole time he could have been pushing that glider with the motor, he loitered, and he pulled a little bit of brake pressure, and the glider stalled out and fell back behind him. Common mistake, I see it a lot. This one here, not so much a classic mistake. This is the same pilot, second attempt. He got caught by a gust. It was a strong gust of wind. It pulled him, caught him off guard. And have you know, this guy, he was able to kite as well. Once again, a situation like this, you get snatched. If you hit the power and get the motor to wind up, maybe you don't fall. A lot of people would have turtled in a situation like this. He took a seat, maintained. It was really not that big a deal. He did a good launch after this. And that's what you're going to see in this clip. He did a reverse. Because the wind picked up, I'm like, look, you shouldn't forward. Let's reverse. So he reversed the wing. His motor died. And so I gave him a restart, and he did his first launch. In the breakdown, you're going to see the same bad habits that he had on the first bit. Look, he wants to use his legs. His motor died, of course. I just did that. Oh, I hear that this is funny. Look at this. The students cracked up and said I run like Captain Jack Sparrow. I've never seen that movie, but that was apparently what he runs like. You hear that sound? That's the sound of a half-hearted throttle attempt. Still pushing with the legs, still pushing with the legs, still pushing. Now lean back, hit some power, go, 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 go. And he's on and it's just bobbly. You know, if you commit to that thing and get everything pushed and balanced, ultimately it was a successful launch. You can't knock a new student for that. We can work out the minutia as we go through it. That's how learning is. We ain't making judgments on people's first attempts at anything. It's about learning. Here's me out here doing a little funny thing. I was doing some slalom-esque style flying, and I went through my own wake. I did on purpose. I knew it was coming, but I caught it on video by accident. I had it set up for this time-lapse photography that I was doing with the fog over the swamp, and I just caught myself on the corner of the frame later. So I hit my wake at the end of this clip, and this is something that I do with regularity. So watch this. I'm going to make a hard left and really dig a curl in the air there. And then I'll come around and level out, and I'll just fly right exactly through it. Whoop. In this clip, we got one of the first few landings this pilot had done. He flared a little bit early, and then he made a kiting error after the landing. So he's got a really good landing posture. He's got a foot sticking down. He flares early. Look, he starts his flare here, covers 20 feet, and then it was so close that he was okay. Turned around and then immediately buried his right hand. See the wing flip over and crash down? Now this pilot previously had a throttle commitment issue. We got him past that. He's hitting the power and holding it, and that's basically what's saving him, because we're going to call it early hands and then fast hands. So he hit the brakes before the power, then he let off the brakes. He was just behind the wing the whole time. Wing's coming up good, perfectly centered, inflates very quickly. But watch this, he's going to jab the brakes here at the top. Then he's going to squeeze the power. Wing rocks back, he throws his hands up, or at least his left one. And then look, he comes right back down hard with it. Bam! So he's not being smooth with his hands. Now when I say hands, look at his wing. The wing tells you how fast his hands are moving. He's late, and then he jabs it right there. Bam! Then he throws them up. Whew, lets them off all the way. Glider's pitching back and forth. That's what you're looking at. Not so much his hand position, but where the wing's deflecting. Now here's one of an asymmetric flare. Same pilot that favoring his right hand. He's going to land. His flare's still just a foot early. His flare time is not that bad, but he goes more into the right and goes into a turn during the flare. So he starts his flare. Look, he's leveling out, but he's not touching the ground. Then as he settles, he deep brakes before he even hits. His feet are in front of him, but he was also favoring the right. That's why the wing's way over there now. So we still have an early hand situation. He goes into these hands early, but he doesn't move them as fast. I told him not to move as fast. We had a debrief about it. He came back and sharpened his skills. Check this one out. So the wing's coming up perfect again. Again, these guys' kiting skills were good. But look, a little overzealous on the brake check, pushing down to his hips. Raises it back up and then locks it in though. So his hands aren't moving, the glider's not moving. He doesn't have that pitch up and down, back and forth. He's still wobbling a little bit oscillation-wise, but his corrections are appropriate and it was a much better launch. New pilot, probably 5th flight at this point, and he enters a thermal on short final. It levels him out. It almost looks like he flares early. If you look, he levels out almost like he started his flare soon. He didn't do anything. He flew right into that thermal, but it dumped him out right at the end, and he had to kind of stuff the brakes and miss the landing, but not his fault on this one. And you'll see his leg kick forward right about here. You see that? It kicks forward. He enters that thermal. Glider rocks back. He levels out 10 feet off the ground, 15 feet. And then right here, it spits him. He never touched his brakes. But he gets on him a little here. And then, boom, he really stuffs him and kind of, it wasn't a hard lick. He sort of just bonked the ground a little. I mean, whatever. It was a light day. Look, this guy's kiting the single skin to the side. Wasn't like it was dangerous thermal conditions, but that's what that was. Here we got a situation I like to call late on the power, late on the brakes. This pilot had come to practice his landings. He was having landing difficulties. Little did I know there was also a launch difficulty as well, which resulted in a faceplant situation. Hit it. Pressure, 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 pressure. Oh, cue. See, you were late on your brakes. You let the glider go over you. Here, I'll reset you. First here was the power application was late. Should have been hitting it here. Conditions are light. I can see 3 miles an hour. Can't loiter. He's looking up at the wing, not committing. Now he's committing. Glider rocks back and then immediately starts going over him. And he was just late on the brakes. That's all the difference that would have made. And this is his redemption. He does a good launch on this run. Still slightly late on the power, but he got into those brakes that time and held them, and it worked out a beauty. Nice one. There you go. Felt better, didn't it? So, as mentioned, he showed up to work on his landings. This is what we came up with. He was probably flaring early, and so I just talked him through this one. Check it out. Wait on it. Just wait on it. Look ahead. Feel for the ground. Slight pressure, finish it out, walk it out. There you go, that's it. See how much better it is when you wait on it? I like it a lot. You're doing great, man. Don't beat yourself up too hard, okay? Ooh. What we got here is this student's first landing attempt, and what we also have is Kyle's total failure in capturing that on video. You can see the wing though, so let's watch that. Oh, I like it. Yeah, kill it and enjoy the silence, man. And just wait. Perfect approach. Perfect approach. There's 20, 10, 5, 2, 2, 1, 2. Oh, ballooned a little bit. And of course, you can kind of completely hear what's going on. He's a little early in the brakes and a little deep, and then he ballooned up. And as he came back and settled, his feet weren't under him, so he kind of slid out from in front of him. He bonked it on the bottom end. No biggie. This is around 5th, 6th, 7th launch attempt. He's been in it a couple of days, starting to go on his own. He's going slightly right. Good, go, go, go. control, pressure. Lean back, don't let it scoop you. There you go, that's it, that's it. Nice, felt good, didn't it? Again, we can't say too much about this one. Slight correction to the right, boom, perfect amount of brake, got level, powered up, got stable, and completed a nice launch. Maybe a slight scoop, but good stuff. This is this pilot's third landing attempt. His first one I didn't see, his second one was really pretty good, and this one we're gonna leave his motor on, and if it was good, we're gonna let him do a go. If you fumble it, hit the kill switch. If you don't fumble it, hit the power, okay? Lay it on. Hit the head. Wings fine. Good attention. So you can't knock him too much. He did a perfect approach here. He's perfectly stable. He's fast. He was maybe a foot late on his flare, but being late is better than being too early. Look, he is able to lift himself with his wing back up onto his feet before he lost the end of the speed there. But in spectacular new student fashion, as soon as your feet hit the ground again, you forget all your kiting skills. It's a thing. This clip here is the all-encompassing first touch-and-go attempt, followed by a late power bobble, then a regain of control, ending with a shredded windsock and a downwind turn too low. And you're kiting, and you're going. Power, 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 power. Not brakes, not brakes. Power first, now brakes. And then just don't let it scoop you, don't let it scoop you. Don't let it scoop you. There you go. Oh, you're good, go, go, go. Don't worry about that thing. Yeah, that's why I built them like that. Turn to your left into the wind, left into the wind, left into the wind. You're downwind, need to get around. You're not very high. You're barely high enough to you're in a conundrum. You got to climb higher before you do a downwinder, right? Yeah, but you're good now. Now you're good. So we start this with the flare. It's a little late. He bonks his cage. He pulls the flare right at ground level. Bonks the cage, stands up. Now he's getting into the brakes and he's pushing with his legs. Bad habit. Power first, then brakes. Now he's got it. Now he's got it. But he's a little short now and he's drifting right and there's a windsock. Let's just plow right through that. No big deal at all. I build those things to fail easily so that they don't bring down the pilot. Then he needs to make a decision here. He needs to go left into the wind. Look how strong the wind is. He turns low downwind. If he had had a motor out right there, he would have been a spot on the runway. A greasy long spot probably. But no, he come around. Now he's in a safe position again that he would be able to get back to the field. Good times. And here we got just another landing fumble. You know, flare a little late, didn't stick it on his feet, slid out from under him, bumped the cage, kind of like the one before. That wind line's so crucial when it's strong. Weight on it, and then pressure, pressure, pressure. You're a little late on it. Oh, kill it. Nice. And you can see his hands here clearly coming down just a foot off the ground or less. And then he does level out. He does almost get up on his feet, but his cage dug in a little too deep to recover from that one. And here we got a pilot's first attempt at a reverse launch with a motor. Be a kiting ninja. Yeah. Don't turn too early. Get it centered and controlled, moved into the wind. Oh, not yet, not yet. Still close, close. So look for that sweet spot. Oh, you turned a little early. Yeah, see, you're not in control yet. Swinging around wildly to the right, raise your left. Now, a little power for help. It's steady in the wind and go for it. Don't sit. Don't sit. Full pressure, pressure, and you're off. To your right a little bit. Wind's kind of coming over the trees. Don't get over there. It's coming out of the west a little. We may be getting a little gust from something, you know. Maintain heading, get some altitude first, then you're gonna do a downwind turn. So again, I kind of called it in real time there in the recording. He turns too soon. He didn't stop the wing and balance it first. He missed the first inflation, so he's probably trying to rush this one a little bit. But ultimately, he regained control. He kept his wits. This guy's, he's advanced real good. Like, the only way to learn these things sometimes is just to practice them. Again, this video isn't about judging people's technique. This is about watching the first time they try these things and see what it looks like, you know, how fumbly it can be. Where instructor help really shines is these moments, you know. We can help them through the hard parts, and then they're making their own rounds. And here we've got a great example of the ever-elusive turtle. And in his defense, the wind had picked up substantially from when we had started this. So keep that in mind when you're watching this. But it's a turtle. And I think you got it. Ease off the power and then just start your glide, and you bring it straight down your line. If you get little bumps, just push through them and know which way you got to be when you land. Remember, you're feeling for the ground. I want you to flare a little sooner this time. Little control, little control. Look ahead, look ahead. 3, 2, 1, there's the ground. Brakes, there you go. Turn around, turn around. Oh, turtle. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a picture of it. That's the first turtle. And again, without poking too much fun specifically at him, he caught a gust during his flare. Look at there, that wasn't him. That was the wind shifting and gusting, and then he finished it out, but then the weight of the motor jostled him, and he lost his balance and went over backwards. We dusted him off, and he kept flying. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to end this on a good one. After you put in the hard work, this is what it can look like. This is just a good, perfect example of how to land. Just how to land good. Watch this. And that'll keep you real stable. If you like it, kill it. And then keep your eyes forward, feet down, feel for it, weight on it. Little pressure, there's it is, and then walk it out. Nice. Yeah. So that's it. That's kind of what it's like. It's not always like that. You know, you train enough people, you see everything. I don't film all the people that I train. I do a lot of times if I think that it could be useful in a situation like this. A lot of these clips came from other people that was just filming. I'm usually focused on teaching. It's hard to film and teach, but if somebody else steps in and films the launches and landings, you can use these video reviews to better your skill set, sharpen your moves. In the heat of the moment, it's hard to decipher if you're doing it right or not sometimes. Filming yourself and backtracking and looking at it like this can really be useful for a lot of people regarding a lot of things, especially technical skills. So I hope you liked that video. I'll see y'all real soon in the next one. Much love. Kyle out.